Hey, hello. Yo, what's going on? Did you hear music? Oh my god. Yo, run that shit. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy New Year. What's going on? Merry Christmas. How you doing? Robo Justice. Ruby for Justice. How you doing? Newman to Case. What's up? Ray Ray, how you doing? Polka Dot Susan. Who else is here? Brian P. Knows. Sean B. What up? Wild Dogs. Allie Books. What's going on? How you guys doing? Hold on, guys. Oh. Holy moly. Hold on. I'm changing my case for my mic here. From purple to red, which is Christmas. So I gotta put the more festive capsule on like that. See, it looks better now, right? Yee. No, but seriously, guys, I apologize. I fell asleep. I went to go take a nap at like around 10:30, and I woke up at 11:40. Oh my god! I wasn't sure if I wasn't sure if I should stream or not, but I'm going to stream until 2:30 maybe. I'll stream until 2:30, and then I'll get off. All right. So I'm sorry. I apologize. Things happen, man. Just like I was sleepy, man. I was just sleepy. That's all I can say. I'm very sleepy. You know. So it is what it is. Ooh, all right. I'm still sleepy. Doc Bones, what's going on? How you doing? Did you get? It's okay. All right, thank you. I'm glad it's okay. More festive? What's more festive, Doc? My apartment or what? Merry Christmas, Mannermo. Merry Christmas, Newman. Newman to Case. What is that? Newman to Case. What is it? Why'd you name yourself that? Newman to Case. No need for an apology? Oh. I think, oh, I feel bad. That's all. You know, I feel bad. I feel bad. You know, it's my mistake. It's my bad. My bad. What a pimple, Mister. So what's going on? How's everybody doing today? You guys have a nice day. I did not stream yesterday because I was watching a football game. I guess I was watching the Pittsburgh Steelers football game yesterday, and guess what? I fell asleep. Yep. But I wasn't gonna stream anyway. To be honest with you, I really didn't think about streaming yesterday. I was tired. I was a rough yesterday, working all day and then coming home from work and then doing whatever else in my house. It was a long day, man. I couldn't. I was too sleepy. So you know, it is what it is. I was too sleepy. You know, that's not my name. I am Newman 25. Oh, so where did the 2Ks come from? Who made that name up? Yeah, the Steelers kicked ass last night, Doc Bones. The Steelers kicked some ass. You know what's fun? I watch my football games now on Monday Night Football. I watch it with Peyton, the Peyton Manning brothers. The Manning brothers. They do like they talk about the game. They talk about the game while the game is happening, and then they have special guests on their show who they sit between them while they're watching the game. It's fun. You guys gotta check it out. When the Peyton Manning, the Mannings on Monday Night Football. Have any of you guys heard about that or no? I mean, it's been going on for the past 5 years. I just found about it this year. I can't believe I didn't know about it. I didn't hear about this last year, or did I? No, I think last year I heard about it. Yeah, I think I started learning. I learned about it last year. My bad. Must be a glitch tonight. Oh. Anybody else? Is anybody else's name glitch tonight? Who else is having a glitchy name tonight? Anybody else? All right. Let's get to the program. Brian Walls. Let's get to the verdict. The Brian Walls verdict, guys. Let's go. Let's see what happened. That scumbag. What did that scumbag do? You know? Oh, shit. All right, where's the video? Let me get the video up. I gotta find a video. I got to find the video. All right, where is it? Where's the video? You're a mean one, Mr. Grins. I gotta do a Grinch song. I'll do the Grinch. I gotta do the Grinch. Cosmetic what? Cosmetic filler. Cosmetic filler. Child killer. Murder trial. Intro. What?
Welcome back. Closing arguments happening today in the case against Maya Hernandez.
Closing arguments? Who is that case? Oh my God, I want to see that case. We missed a lot of good cases, guys, I think. We missed too many good cases. All right, where's the things happening today? Where is it? Where's my oh my God. Brian Wolf nods as he found guilty. Court TV. Hold on, girl. I'm looking for the thing. What the hell is it? What the hell is it? What the hell? The hell is it? Where is it? Right here. All right, guys, hold on. It's playing.
Entering, all rise.
we ready?
Will the deliberating jurors and the defendant please remain standing? Everyone else in the courtroom may be seated.
All ready? We're ready.
Your Honor, may I inquire?
You may.
Mr. Foreperson, in the matter of the Commonwealth versus Brian Walsh, have the deliberating jurors reached a unanimous verdict?
We have.
Thank you, sir. If you could hand that to the court officer, please.
Salute. Wait, you guys aren't watching? Hold on. I thought you guys were watching. What happened? Oh my God. All right, here we go. Sorry, guys.
Entering, all rise. Will the deliberating jurors and the defendant please remain standing? Everyone else in the courtroom may be seated.
May be seated.
Your Honor, may I inquire?
You may.
Mr. Foreperson, in the matter of the Commonwealth versus Brian Walsh, have the deliberating jurors reached a unanimous verdict?
We have.
Thank you, sir. If you could hand that to the court officer, please.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Can you see it now?
Your Honor, may the verdict be recorded.
It may.
Mr. Foreperson, in the matter of the Commonwealth versus Brian Walsh, Norfolk Superior Court Criminal Indictment Number 2023-0091. As to count one, wherein the defendant Brian Walsh is charged with murder in the first degree, what say the jury? Is the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty of what, sir?
Murder in the first degree.
Murder in the first degree, so say you, Mr.
There you
Foreperson.
go.
I do.
Guilty.
Of murder in the first degree, so say all deliberating jurors.
I do.
Murder in the first degree. Wow.
That to the court officer, please.
Wow. Murder in the first degree.
The jury may be polled.
Murder in the first degree, just like that.
Juror number one, juror in seat number one. As to the verdict of murder in the first degree, is that your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number two, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number three, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number four, as to the charge of murder in the first degree, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Mr. Foreperson, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 8, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 9, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 10, is that your verdict? Juror in seat number 13?
Yes.
Is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 14, is that your verdict?
Yes.
And last juror, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Your Honor, all jurors answer affirmatively
Wow.
that the guilty of first degree is their verdict.
The verdict may be recorded. Please
Thank
be
you.
seated.
Damn. Yeah, baby. Let's go.
I
Murder.
want to thank you for your service on this case. I know that it went a little bit more quickly
Good
than we were
job.
expecting,
Good job.
but your service has been substantial.
Right, guys? Good job. What do you guys think? Good job?
And I appreciate all you did to be obedient to those rules that I placed on you and for your conscientious service as jurors.
Guilty, man.
I will be back to
100%
meet with
guilty.
you privately in a moment. You should feel a weight lifting off of you right now as I'm releasing of you of those requirements. You can talk to anyone about this case or no one at all. You can do whatever research you wish to do about the case or not at all. You can go back on social media if you want, news media. And I'm supposed to release you from that burden of being open-minded. But I hope you always go through your lives with open hearts and open minds. new experiences and new people. I'll be back in just a minute to meet with all of you privately. Thank you very much, Bruce.
Bruce exiting, all rise. Bruce, follow me.
All right.
Are we going to be
I believe that we could do it as early as
Done.
Thursday.
for, because I have other things
When are you coming back?
scheduled.
Tomorrow?
I anticipated the trial was going to be running, so I scheduled other things, although we could do it Friday morning. Does the defense have any preferences to the timing of the sentencing?
Your Honor, given the Commonwealth's recommendations, we'd actually request Wednesday at any point, if that's possible.
All right, I think it will be. I'll just, the only reason that I wouldn't do it on Wednesday is I do want the victim impact statements, regardless of the implications of the jury's verdict. It may have bearing on my sentencing on the other counts to which he pled guilty.
That's right.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is continued to December 17th at 9 a.m. for sentence imposition.
Oh, December. All right, so guys, December 17th.
Thanks, everyone.
That's going to be today, tomorrow. Tomorrow, the sentencing, guys. So we'll watch that live stream tomorrow night. Well, I won't be live, but we'll watch it recorded live. Live on my show, we'll record it earlier that day.
Oh, great. Were you around? Oh, thank you.
Oh, there it is. 1, 2, 3. That was quick. All right, guys. What did you guys? Did you guys? I'm sure everybody assumed or just guessed that he was going to be guilty no matter what, because all that evidence, all that proof, all that evidence they had during the trial. That was crazy, man. That was crazy.
Life without parole in the state of Massachusetts, which he will be sentenced to, but not before the victim impact statements. And the judge alluded to that. Both sides are agreeing to Wednesday, and we, of course, will watch those take place. You can bet that Jim Mutlu, William Fastow, and others that we saw take the stand will be there. Matthew Magino, thank you. Lisa's going to stick around for the next hour with us. We'll get a break. When we come back, we'll have more on Brian Walshe or Matt Johnson. There in the courtroom. We'll hear from Matt after this. Dead, and then made the extraordinary decision to not call 911, not seek medical help, even a lawyer. You just decided to chop her up. That was what the defense wanted this jury to believe, that she, Anna, died mysteriously, and Brian just freaked out, and he just did things that maybe you and I wouldn't do. Well, the jury didn't buy it at the end of the day, so he'll be sentenced on Wednesday, and that's when he will have to listen. He'll have to listen to those victim impact statements of people whose lives were changed by his actions.
Yep.
They will come in and they will talk about Anna. You remember, he and his wife had 3 children. Now they have lost both their mother and their father, who will be spending the rest of his life in prison for what he has done. Lisa Bonner is with us here in studio with the reaction to this. No surprise, I guess, on so many levels. What was surprising was...
See, that's the very sad part of the whole situation. The kids just lost both parents. The kids just lost both parents for the rest of their lives. That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. Wow.
The defense, which was so odd, but then the decision that Brian Walshe didn't want to take the stand after articulating to the court the night before that he would plan to get up there and give it a whirl.
He should have.
Well, I think that is one of the oldest defense tricks in the book, right? That all defense lawyers basically say, my client can't, he's really considering taking the stand. He really wants to tell him his side of the story.
How you doing, blue-eyed female?
And rarely, if ever, does it happen. And this would have been a disaster.
Sorry for your
him.
loss, blue-eyed female.
Well, it would not have changed the outcome clearly, as we've seen, but it just...
it might have been a quicker deliberation.
It would have been. But again, I do think that the jury took their time and went through all of the evidence, and they came to the correct conclusion. But I did not think that he was going to take the stand. But in some instances, you really kind of look at the hubris, if you will, of the defendant, and you You know, I at least tend to think sometimes if anybody would do it, it might be this guy. And I kind of, you know, approach that, but it just never works out for him, for a defendant. So I really didn't think that he was going to.
Yeah, pulling the wool over jurors' eyes.
Sorry for the loss of your mom, blue-eyed female. Everybody, I'm not sure about blue-eyed female lost her mom the other day, yesterday. So everybody say sorry for your loss, blue-eyed female. Her mom passed away yesterday.
Is a lot harder than people might think. Even for a guy that, I mean, he was found guilty of selling fake art. So he was pulling the wool over people's eyes, saying, "Oh, here's this is worth this," and it was all lies.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure it is tough for you right now. I'm sorry to hear that, Blue Eyes. Seriously.
All of the bad acts come into play. They can question him about everything at this point. So, you know, did you do this? And they could start walking him through it. They walk him through all of the prior bad acts, and it just never comes out. Look, no one ever comes out looking better and helping their defense. I mean, I felt that this was a losing proposition from the beginning. But again, you know, maybe he
probably his idea.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He was sitting there with his lawyer. This is and then
right, as opposed to just pleading out and maybe getting a lesser sentence. I think that he probably thought that if anybody could do it, I can.
Right.
And I don't buy that.
Let's head out to Dedham. That's where we find Court TV's Matt Johnson. There is Matt. All right, take us through what we saw. One angle. What did you see in the courtroom?
Well, for starters, Brian Walshe had tears in his eyes, and he stopped and he took a step back as they were escorting him out of the courtroom after that guilty verdict. He looked for his mother. She had already been removed from the courtroom. On several occasions, she has been trying to get his attention. At one point in time before this trial even started a couple weeks ago, she left something at the defense table. It looked to me like it was a note. They have told her many times that she cannot say anything to the defendant, and she continues to try to do so. Well, today, they removed her from the courtroom before he was escorted out after he was found guilty of butchering and murdering his wife, Anna Walshe. Her family, her friends were not present for the reading of the verdict. I was noticing that the jurors, 6 men and 6 women who worked really hard on this case over the past several weeks, listening to 48 witnesses, looking at all of that evidence very closely, and then deliberating for more than close to 6 hours in this case. When they walked into the courtroom, they made no eye contact with this defendant, and it was also of note that the defense attorneys and the defendant had moved. They had shifted closer to where the jury box was, but not one person on the jury looked at him, and each of them said, yes, he did kill his wife, Anna, and then he disposed of her remains. Ted?
Extraordinary case, extraordinary defense, one so unique that we haven't really seen anything this off the wall in Court TV in recent memory. Sentencing now set for Wednesday, and one would expect those same cast of characters that we saw take the witness stand are going to have their opportunity to address not only the court, but Mr. Walshe.
Yeah, that judgment day continues on Wednesday, 9 a.m. This court really wants to take care of this before the holidays. She's going to be asking the jury members that deliberated this case if they want to be seated in the gallery. We're not expecting Anna's mother.
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, or a lot of her family, because remember, she was a binational. She was Serbian. Her mother is in Serbia. Her sister is in Canada. And of course, you know, everyone is curious about the children. She had 3 small boys, all under the age of 6, when she was murdered 3 years ago in her Cohasset home after New Year's celebration. But you're right, you know.
A lot older now.
We're expecting some of these victim impact statements. Some of them will be written, maybe from the family members that can't be.
I would love to hear from one of the kids, like the oldest kid. If he's like 10 years old now, I would love to hear from him.
Here in Dedham, Massachusetts, in attendance, but then maybe from her lover, Willem Fasto, who took the stand and was talking about he wanted to build a life with her. He wanted to cherish her and take care of her.
Wow.
little boys and build a life in Washington, D.C. He testified it was very awkward when he was on the stand. He never looked at Anna Walsh's killer, not once. But we're expecting to hear from him. We're expecting to hear from the best friend that was the final witness that broke down on the stand, talking about how Anna was worried about their relationship and how she was concerned about the couple and what Brian Walshe may be capable of. These are just two of the people that we expect to hear from on the stand, possibly on Wednesday, when this man faces, actually, there's really no leniency in murder in the first in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. He's facing life behind bars without the possibility of parole.
And a big question will be, given his hubris, as we were talking earlier here on set, will he have some sort of allocution towards the court? And I think everybody would love to possibly hear from him. He's racked up now multiple charges.
He won't
that he's pled
apologize.
Guilty to. Then
He
you
won't
have the federal case.
apologize.
He's not going anywhere, but this would be his opportunity to say something.
He should. He's not.
And, you know, we expect him to possibly say something. This is a defendant and now a convicted killer who has been delusional. He thought he could get away with murder and dispose of his wife, lie to people, pretend to be her, and now he is convicted. He looked in shock today. And, you know, everyone was in shock last week when the defense did not call any witnesses. The judge, in particular, who had researched objections by this defense team, questioned them twice and said, "Are you sure you're a defendant?"
Wait, I fucked up. Damn it. I fucked up.
And dispose of his. She was Serbian. She's going to be asking the jury members that deliberated this case if they want to be seated in the gallery. We're not expecting Anna's mother, unfortunately, or a lot of her family, because remember, she was a binational. She was Serbian. Her mother is in Serbia. Her sister is in Canada. And of course, you know, everyone is curious about the children. She had 3 small boys, all under the age of 6, when she was murdered 3 years ago in her Cohasset home after New Year's celebration. But you're right, you know, as...
Oh, my God. Hold on, guys. I fucked up. I'm trying to find the thing. I can't find
his
it now.
attention at one point in time before this trial even started a couple weeks ago. She left something at the defense table. It looked to me like it was a note. They have told her many times that she cannot say anything to the defendant, and she continues to try to do so. Well, today, they removed her from the courtroom before he was escorted out after he was found guilty of butchering and murdering his wife, Anna Walshe. Her family, her friends were not present for the reading of the verdict. I was noticing that the jurors, 6 men and 6 women who worked really hard on this case over the past several weeks, listening to 48 witnesses, looking at all of that evidence very closely, and then deliberating for more than close to 6 hours in this case.
I think the government has them.
When they walked into the courtroom, they made no eye contact with this defendant, and it was also of note that the defense attorneys and the defendant had moved. They had shifted closer to where the jury box was.
The government's
but not one person on the jury looked at him, and each of them said, yes, he did kill his wife, Anna, and then he disposed of her remains. Ted?
Extraordinary case, extraordinary defense, one so unique that we haven't really seen anything this off the wall in court TV in recent memory. Sentencing now set for Wednesday, and one would expect those same cast of characters that we saw take the witness stand are going to have their opportunity to address not only the court, but Mr. Walshe.
Yeah, that judgment day continues on Wednesday, 9 a.m. This court really wants to take care of this before the holidays. She's going to be asking the jury members that deliberated this case if they want to be seated in the gallery. We're not
Oh, my God. Sorry, guys.
right, you know, as
Press the
We're
wrong button.
expecting some of these victim impact statements. Some of them will be written, maybe from the family members that can't be here in Dedham, Massachusetts in attendance, but then maybe from her lover, Willem Fasto, who took the stand and was talking about he wanted to build a life with her. He wanted to cherish her and take care of her and her little boys and build a life in Washington, D.C. He testified. It was very awkward when he was on the stand. He never looked at Anna Walsh's killer, not once. But we're expecting to hear from him. We're expecting to hear from the best friend that was the final witness that broke down on the stand, talking about how Anna was worried about their relationship and how she was concerned about the couple and what Brian Walshe may be capable of. These are just two of the people that we expect to hear from on the stand, possibly on Wednesday, when this man faces, actually, there's really no leniency in murder in the first in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. He's facing life behind bars without the possibility of parole.
Murder in the
The
first.
question will be, given his hubris, as we were talking earlier here on set, will he have some sort of allocution towards the court? And I think everybody would love to possibly hear from him. He's racked up now multiple charges that he's pled guilty to. Then the federal case. He's not going anywhere, but this would be his opportunity to say something.
Yeah, we'll
and,
see.
you know, we expect him to possibly say something. This is a defendant and now a convicted
You guys think he'll say something?
who has been delusional.
What do you guys think?
He thought he could get away with murder and dispose of his wife, lie to people, pretend to be her, and now he is convicted. He looked in.
Do you guys think that he'll say something in the at the end, or no? He'll stay quiet, you think? What do you guys think?
shock today. And, you know, everyone was in shock last week when the defense did
Juicy J, how you doing, girl? What's up?
not call any witnesses. The judge, in particular, who had researched objections by this defense team, questioned them.
Blue-eyed female, I feel bad. I feel sorry. I wish I could help you, man. Damn. Losing a mother is tough. I don't know how it's like. I don't want to know what it's like. My mom is 80 also, and very close to where your mom is, but your mom has the dementia. My mother doesn't have dementia, so maybe that pushes it up a little bit. Man, that's hard. When you lose your mom, damn. May she rest in peace. Seriously, man. May she rest in peace, man. That's tough. Your mother is gone. Wow. So sad. My condolences. My condolences. Seriously.
Them twice and said, "Are you sure your defendant, your client is not going to be taking the stand?" Because the court had been informed that he had interest in taking the stand in his own defense and testifying. That was a
Getting ready for Christmas. That's fun. Jen no run. How you doing, Jen no run? No Rich, it's equal and hard no matter what. Yeah, you're right. Definitely hard no matter what. Can't stop crying tonight? Oh. Hang in there, blue-eyed female. I wish I can give you a nice big hug.
shock to every.
Do a virtual hug here. A virtual hug with blue-eyed female who lost her mom. That's my virtual hug. Sad. There you go. Hope that helps.
So this is somebody that wanted to talk during his trial, and this is probably going to be a person, a convicted killer, that's going to want to speak at his sentencing, Ted.
Yeah. In fact, the defense articulated to the judge they had
Don't
5
leave.
different.
Hang out with us, blue-eyed female. Put me in the background. Don't leave. Please. Please don't leave.
Points of law that they wanted her to research to make rulings on in terms of what could and couldn't be brought up during the cross-examination of Walshe. And when she found out he wasn't testifying, she was a little frustrated. Matt, stand by. We're going to be dissecting all of this, and we'll see if anybody wants to talk. Maybe members of that defense team. Final word here before we get a break. Lisa, this, to Matt's point, you know, his mother supporting him throughout this, and you wonder if he is going to continue to lie to her, and I'm sure he has had a lifetime of lies. We see this all the time, where defendants will lie to their loved ones, and as a parent, you believe it. You want to always support.
That's
You
his
do.
mom?
You want to believe the best
That's
for your
his
child.
mom.
And what mother would want to admit to herself that her son is a murderer? That is a hard pill to swallow for any parent or sibling or any loved one. And the mother was a mother bear, and she was mama bearing through the whole trial. She was, you know, reaching out to him through letters, through correspondence, you know, just doing whatever she could to support her son. And this is going to be a hard one for mom to swallow, but, you know, it is what it is. The jury has spoken.
So odd that you know, you think about it, and there was mom in the courtroom this morning, how, and being a murderer is much worse than what he was admitting to, and that is the dismemberment of his wife, which, you know, doesn't really, you know, play because, oh, we got a press conference right now, is it? Oh, I'm here. Oh, we're going to get a break, and then we're expecting a press conference outside the courthouse, so let's do that. We'll get the break now, and then head back to Dedham. Matt will be there, and the press conference. Stay with us.
All right, here's the press conference, and then we're done, I think.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Brian Walshe is a killer. That's what
a
jury in the state of Massachusetts has determined. He was found guilty of first-degree murder. Let's head back out to Dedham. A press conference from the district attorney's office is on.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm Michael Morrissey, the Norfolk District Attorney, and with me today, standing behind me, some of the most important people in the event you witnessed over the last few weeks and couple of years. I have members of the Cohasset and State Police, as well as my trial team, are with me today. Did an outstanding job. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the jury. This is a very difficult case from the beginning. Take time out of their schedule to hear such, you know, days of evidence, complex evidence, and a difficult case, and to come up with the decision they did. Without the jurors, our system doesn't work, and my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of those who participated and the alternates who were chosen as well. I'd like to thank the Cohasset Police, the State Police, the Medical Examiner's Office, and the Crime Lab for their hard work. It was an incredible effort. If you think about what you saw during the trial, there was all sorts of forensic evidence. They left no stone unturned. They viewed 60 witnesses, almost 60 witnesses testified at trial, and they interviewed even more people. So while you saw a good part of what we had, it was only a small fraction of the time and effort that they put in to get that evidence. And they went to dumpsters, to landfills, to dumps as well, to transfer stations, department stores, lumber stores, CVS, just to gather all this evidence, which was critical in this case. And that effort should not be forgotten, and how hard it was. For without those tools and the evidence that they provided us, that the trial team, which I had the utmost confidence, very competent, professional people, long-term prosecutors in the office, had great tools to work with, but they also great people in their own right. And they put on a very, very great case in a difficult setting. Now, we've seen other cases where we've not had a body, but this is the first one I can remember we've had a first-degree conviction, and I just want to thank them profusely. I know that a number of them passed up vacations, work holidays, and they know what's expected of them. We took the job to speak for victims, and they did one heck of a job speaking for Anna's family. And I just wanted to also to say we did hear from Anna's sister, and her comment was, justice has been served, and we agree wholeheartedly with her comments as well. But they never lost sight of that, and I'd like to just personally thank Greg Connor, Tracy Cusack, Ian Yaz, and we have the Cohasset Police, Harrison, and the State Police, and the head of my victim services, Kristen Collins. Also Laura McLaughlin, who's not here. She did a lot of the early work in the case, and so we had a great team, and I just wanted to profusely thank them. It's been a great day for us in the office. I'd ask Greg if he wants to say a word or two. Greg Connor.
Thank you, Michael. Work two of the finest lawyers I've ever got to know, and also to go against Harry, who are really good lawyers. But I want to say thank you to our law enforcement, but
horrible connection.
Day after day from the beginning with Sergeant Harrison Schmidt. When Cohasset lost one of their own, they stopped everything and tried to find this woman, and one person never gave up on that case, and it would be Sergeant Harrison Schmidt. Thank you very much.
So bad connection, guys. I'm sorry. Bad connection.
Let's not lose. And his 3 young children will be without a mother, and especially at this time, difficult time of year, and hopefully going in the future, that we all wish them a bright future going ahead. But let's remember in a special way the loss they suffered, and thank you all for coming.
What will happen with the children?
I am not going to answer any questions of that. That's for another.
Any more reaction from her mother or her family?
We just heard from the sister. That was the only, so I passed it on. We heard that they called, and I passed it on to you.
Will they be making impact statements?
The judge, they're working with the trial team to schedule impact statements. I can't tell you what form they're going to come in, but the opportunity has been extended, and I expect we will hear something, and they're working on that now.
What do you think actually for sentencing?
Excuse me?
For sentencing?
Well, there's a mandatory sentence of life, so, but there are other issues. They also developed other charges, as many of you have now heard, that there was a plea earlier to other charges, so that's being worked on. So you'll hear from the lawyers at the time of sentencing.
And Mr. Morsi, do you consider this a win after the Karen trial? What do you think actually brought this to guilty? You have no body, circumstantial evidence. What do you think was the strongest part of the case that convinced the jury this was guilty?
I don't think there's any one thing. I think it was the combined effort of working together with our law enforcement partners, the ME and other professionals. The work that was done on the forensics, I think, was important. But actually, without that and without people explaining it in the courtroom, we'd have nothing. And I think they all did an awesome job. And I'm just going to say one other thing, because someone mentioned, it's not about winning or losing. It's about getting the right answer. And this was the right answer. And so we don't look at cases as a wins or losses. We look at getting justice for someone. So let's not lose sight of that fact.
Walsh pled guilty to 2 charges ahead of time, right when jury selection was about to start. Did that change the way you approached this case and your attorneys? Obviously, they had been looking at 3 different charges. Now it was 1 murder charge.
You can hear right from the
case was always going to be presented in the same way. The evidence was the evidence, and we wanted to make sure the jury had everything that they needed to make a determination. The change of plea was an interesting dynamic, but when it came down to it, we wanted to make sure the jury had all the facts.
Greg, what do you think it was? The online searches? Do you think it was the surveillance video? What do you think? Or the emotional testimony that we could...
I can't tell you. That would be a question for the jurors. We tried to give them all the information we had. We had it from multiple different factors, whether it be surveillance video, the text messages, the internet searches. But what we had was a very thorough investigation that gave the lawyers in this case an excellent chance to try and give the jury what they needed.
Were you surprised that he didn't testify? What did you want to ask him on the stand?
I don't know if I can comment on that.
You don't have enough time for that.
I think that's probably better not said.
But were you surprised that he didn't?
The judge was.
I think it's always up to the defendant to make that decision. I think it's the hardest decision a defendant can make. And so I'm sure he put a lot of thought into it. We were prepared that if he did testify, we had a number of questions we wanted to have answered, but we understand it's his right not to.
So, this is a question.
Yeah, over the past couple of years, a lot has been made of your office and the handling of different cases. Do you hope what happened here today restores some of that perceived lack of faith the public has?
I don't know one loss of a highly visible case determines what happens in our office. We handle cases all the way from the bottom to the top. We treat them all the same. There's no such thing as a single important case. This was a critical case, and you saw on display some of the smartest people and some of the toughest workers and investigators who have always been with me. So I think that sometimes you don't like what a jury has to say, but that's our system of justice. You present the case to a jury, and you have to abide by, at least I do. I took a constitutional oath. So I would just say today, I clearly am much happier with the outcome today, and I'm very happy with the work that was done by the professionals who work both in law enforcement and the district attorney's office. And really, I couldn't be happier. So
a lot is obviously, over the last couple of years. We haven't really had a chance to hear from you.
Keep breaking up. Come on, man.
Unlike my time on Beacon Hill, I get to speak out. But many of you know that now as a district attorney, that if I speak out, that I interfere with an individual's right to a fair trial, then that obviously weighs heavily upon me. So I am now free to speak today on this trial with some limitations. And so not hearing from me, obviously, then I don't want to tip the jury or tip the scales and let those cases go forward without putting a thumb on the scales of justice. And you know, I took the job to speak for victims, and we focus on victims, and that's what I'm going to continue to do through my tenure. So I just want to thank you all. I know this is, you know, a long period of time. We have to come to the courthouse, and we do have some calls to make and try to reach out to some other family members and some other people. But thank you all, and hopefully it brings to a conclusion a very sad chapter.
Thank you, Mon.
In the history of Anna's family.
Thank you. Detective, I mean, this was your case from the beginning, right? Want to say?
All right, Michael Morrissey there. Of course, that low-key Karen Reed question there at the end. But this is a big win. Bottom line, they were meticulous, and to his point, the attorneys from the Commonwealth did an excellent job. One of the things Lisa Bonner continues to be with us as we react to the guilty verdict, Brian Walshe. One of the things that they did well in the close, it was very subtle. It wasn't, you know, bombastic. It was a delivery that was factual. And one of the questions they asked jurors to ask themselves was, those internet searches were over the top.
Over the top. Yep.
What about the internet searches that weren't done? How do people just die in their sleep? Is there a way? You know,
I know, right? Exactly.
Nothing inquisitive.
That is
Brian
true.
Walshe in terms of how his wife, according to him, just ended up dead. Yeah. And I really thought that hit home.
Yeah, they did really good job.
Wow.
There was a lot of circumstantial evidence here. And that is really why they had to be so meticulous in putting this case together. Because jurors like bodies. They like certainty. They want to know how a victim died, right?
Yeah.
And without that, and with nobody, there's no evidence on how she died. And so you were asking the jury to infer a lot from this circumstantial evidence. So I thought the way that the trial lawyers went about this, the prosecutors went about this, was very meticulous, very methodical. I thought that they called the witnesses, they asked thoughtful questions. You know, you did get a little bit lost, which is always the case when you're going through the evidence, the phone evidence, and trying to decide who said what. But you know, you lose them, but it all comes to fruition in the end, right? You can see eventually the story that's being made. So I thought they did a very good job in their opening statement throughout. In the closing statement, I thought the closing arguments were brilliant, I thought.
Yeah. Hey, and let's face it, the defense had a ridiculous theory, but a very good lawyer pushing it, and you know that theory came from Walshe himself, because no lawyer would have concocted that baby. That was,
Cake Boo, how you doing, Cake Boo?
They had to come up with something.
Welcome back.
There you go.
Right, but there's so many other scenarios he could have said.
Correct.
When she was having an affair, bottom line, he's a liar. He was before this, and now he's going to the state pen again. Wednesday will be the sentencing, and that will be the opportunity for victim impact statements to be delivered, whether in person or via email, what have you, because of course her family, extended family, is out of the country. Let's get a break. When we come back, another horrible story. Over the weekend, Rob Reiner, his wife Michelle, found stabbed to death in their Los Angeles.
I can't believe Rob Reiner and his wife were stabbed to death. That's incredible.
Area home, and their son Nick Reiner, 32-year-old, now in custody, being held on $4 million bail. Stay with us.
Wait, what? What? Wait, what?
Found stabbed to death in their Los Angeles custody, being held at home, and their son Nick Reiner, 32-year-old, now in custody, being held on $4 million bail. Stay.
The son is held on a $4 million bail? Did the son kill them? Oh my God! What? All right, we gotta watch the video now. All right, let's watch. Let's go back. The son was picked. The son was arrested on $4 million bail. Are they blaming him for the murder? Cakes Boo. What's up, Cakes Boo? Cleo, what's up, Cleo? How you doing? Xania, how you doing, Xania? Brian P, what up? Sky Blue Eyes, what's up? How you doing? Damn Danny, what's going on, damn Danny? All right, let's find this fucking video. Where's the video? Hold on a sec. What in God's tar nation going on here? Hold on. Where the hell? Where's my video? I gotta get into this. Hold on. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Let me see if this, maybe this video will help me. Let's watch this video. All right. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Ready, set, go.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Michael Ayala.
And I'm Ashley Wilcott. We have breaking news for you. The press conference we've been waiting on. District Attorney Nathan Hochman in California is speaking as to the tragic, horrible murders of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Their son, Nick, is in jail currently, allegedly having committed those crimes. Let's go in to this presser.
This son killed the parents? Oh, my God. That's insane. Holy shit. Wow. Hold on. Let me get the subtitles. CC1. CC1. And then, hold on. Where's the size? Quality. What? Ambient. Subtitle English. Oh, options. It's so big. I'm gonna leave it like that.
So this is going to be an update on the homicide investigation of Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner. You're going to hear from the Chief of Police, Jim McDonald from the Los Angeles Police Department, and the District Attorney, Nathan Hochman. Just want to level expectations. We will allow some time for questions. But because this is a preliminary investigation still, very active. It's being filed as we speak. There's not a lot we're going to be able to say right now.
Oh, my God.
Also, if you would, please one question at a time so that we can hear the question and answer appropriately. So if we could have that decorum in here. DA Nathan Hochman.
My name is Nathan Hochman. I'm the District Attorney of Los Angeles County. Today I'm here to announce that our office will be filing charges against Nick Reiner, who is accused of killing his parents, actor director Rob Reiner, and photographer producer Michelle Singer Reiner. These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with a special circumstance of multiple murders.
Wow.
He also faces a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, that being a knife. These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty.
What made him do
that? No decision at this point has been made with respect to the death penalty.
Sorry.
We have requested, and currently Nick Reiner is being held without bail.
Oh.
Now, before I announce.
He's being held without bail. He's being held without bail, so he can't even bail himself out. Wow.
Without bail. Now, before in announcing these charges, I also want to announce that they're just that. They are charges. Charges are not evidence. Evidence is something that we will be presenting in a court of law to meet the standard of proof we meet in every criminal case, which is beyond a reasonable doubt, to 12 jurors who you'll unanimously have to find that we've met that standard to prove the charges we bring to court. Right now, with respect to the process, once the charges get filed this afternoon, Nick Reiner will be then brought to court. He is going through medical clearance, something that everybody who gets arrested and gets held in a Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department jail goes through. Once he is medically cleared, he will be brought to court to be arraigned on these charges. At that point, he will enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. Now, prosecuting these cases involving family members are some of the most challenging and most heart-wrenching cases that this office faces because of the intimate and often brutal nature of the crimes involved. Rob Reiner was a brilliant actor and director, an iconic force in our entertainment industry for decades. His wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, was an equally iconic photographer and producer. Their loss is beyond tragic, and we will commit ourselves to bringing their murderer to justice. I want to thank LAPD Chief McDonald, who is here today, along with Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton from the LAPD and LAPD Captain Scott Williams and the entire Robbery Homicide Division, who literally has been working around the clock to gather the evidence that have led to the charges we're going to be filing today. Also from my office, I have Assistant District Attorney Maria Ramirez. I have Director of Specialized Prosecutions, John McKinney. Wow. I have our Head Deputy of Major Crimes, Craig Hung. And I have the two prosecutors who will be leading the prosecution in this case, Assistant Head Deputy of Major Crimes, Habib Balian, and Deputy District Attorney for Major Crimes, Jonathan Chung. They will bring their decades of experience to holding this murderer accountable for his actions. At this point, again, you will hear in the media rumors. You will hear speculation. You will hear hearsay. What I'm asking everyone to do is to rely on trusted sources. And it doesn't come from the district attorney's office, from LAPD, from the coroner's office, or from the courtroom itself. And there's a good chance you are hearing misinformation. Because at the appropriate time, the actual evidence involved in this case will be presented in a court of law. So I ask for your patience until that is done. But again, please do not rely on rank speculation, rumor, or hearsay to believe that you understand anything about what went on in this case. I'd now like to turn it over to Chief McDonald.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. And it's with deep sadness that I address the tragic loss of Robert and Michelle Reiner. On December 14, 2025, LAPD officers from our West Los Angeles division responded to a death investigation at the 200 block of South Chadbourne Avenue, which is in the Brentwood section of Los Angeles. Upon entering the residence, they discovered the bodies of Mr. and Mrs. Reiner. Detectives from our Robbery Homicide Division Homicide Special Section immediately initiated a comprehensive investigation.
I'm sorry.
The evidence gathered led to the arrest of their son, Nick Reiner, who was taken into custody later that night without incident in the Exposition Park section of our city. Today, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has formally filed charges against Mr. Reiner for the murder of his parents. This case is heartbreaking and deeply personal, not only for the Reiner family and their loved ones, but for our entire city. We extend our deepest condolences to all of those who were affected by this tragedy. I want to take a moment to recognize and thank our criminal justice partners, the District Attorney's Office led by D.A. Hochman, and everyone who worked tirelessly on this investigation. Their swift action, professionalism, and commitment to justice have been instrumental in bringing clarity and accountability to this case. The LAPD remains steadfast in our mission to protect life and uphold justice. We will continue to support the Reiner family and ensure that every step forward is taken with care, dignity, and resolve. Thank you.
I can't believe his son killed him.
We're now taking some questions.
Their own son killed him. Why?
Mr. Attorney, could you talk about why you feel this case rises to special circumstances?
So special circumstances is a situation where one of the enumerated factors that lead to elevating in some ways a first-degree murder case to a special circumstance. A first-degree murder case occurs. One of those special circumstances is called multiple murders. Here we have two, and it qualifies under the definition of multiple murders to allege the special circumstance in this particular case.
How was Nick Reiner found, and was there any...
Does anybody know if the son was a tweaked out dude?
Evidence.
Is the son? Does anybody know if the son is a tweaked out kind of dude? Like, is he normal, or does he have issues like disability issues, maybe, or mental illness, or something wrong, like bad, that they know about but couldn't control? Does anybody know about that? Anybody here know about his personal life? Or we're gonna have to learn on our own, I guess, at this point. But I'm just asking, does anybody know about that? What? That was a very serious situation? He was addicted to drugs? What type of drugs? He is a meth head psychopath? Really? He's a meth head, this guy? Get out of here. Wow, really? I wonder what happened. Did he just lose it on his father and killed the parents? He has Klled. What? He's a loony and a bad drug addict since he was 15 years. How old is he now, 30? Yes, Rich, he had been on drugs for years and years. He had been in and out of the rehab over 10 times. And throughout the years, on top of having mental issues. Wow, Danny, thank you. Zanaya, yes, he was living on the streets for a while. He was not so bad. What? He was so bad. Really? Wow. Nobody knows since he was 21 and co-wrote a movie, Being Charlie. Being Charlie? Really? Wait, he co-wrote a movie called Being Charlie? Wow. You're in heroin, cocaine, meth, lived on the streets, yeah. He was in and out of his rehab. I don't know, but he's been in rehab for years, lots of hard drugs, cocaine, heroin. Oh my God. All right, Guy, thanks for the information. Appreciate it. I think he was gonna give him a boat again. He was living there and bet they told him he'd get a rehab or get out. Here, asshole. Oh man, this is just speculation on my part. All right, thanks guys for your information. I appreciate it. It helped. Thank you.
On him indicating a crime, and did he say anything?
Yeah, he was found with good, solid police work, investigative tools used by robbery, homicide, and gang and narcotic division detectives with the U.S. Marshal Service Task Force involved as well. So we're thankful for the work that was done. I won't go into talking about what was found or anything that could potentially taint the investigation.
Chief, one quick follow-up question here, sir. Given Nick's history of drug use, was there any indication that he was under the influence at the time of this crime?
No, thank you again. That's another question I can't touch.
What evidence of mental illness in his background?
I'm sorry, please repeat the question.
Is there any evidence of mental illness in his background beyond the addiction?
The evidence, any evidence, if there is any, of mental illness for his background will be coming out in the hearings that will occur.
Will be coming out.
We anticipate, again, after the arraignment, the process will go through the normal process a case like this goes through. At the appropriate time, if there is evidence of mental illness, it will be presented in court and in whatever detail the defense seeks to do that.
Mr. Hodgson,
yes, Frank.
Wood.
What's going to happen?
Are you anticipating any kind of significant delay in bringing this case to trial on the basis perhaps that Nick may have to undergo significant psychological evaluation, which would also give your people what they need in order to background to what might describe why this action's happened the way they did?
We don't anticipate any significant delay more than is involved in a first-degree murder case with special circumstances. These are some of the most serious charges that a DA's office can bring against anyone. And we anticipate that the discovery that we will produce to the defense will be robust. It will be very involved. They'll want adequate time to review it. They'll want to go through every single factor that they can ascertain in the defense of Mr. Nick Reiner. So again, this will proceed along the tracks that many of the first-degree murder cases proceed. Do I anticipate it being particularly fast? No. I anticipate it being very thorough.
Can you tell us about cause of death and time of death?
Really, Zanaya?
Cause of death and time of death. Can you share any information about that?
We are not at this time.
Did other members of the Reiner family help with your investigation so far? And did they provide any information or assistance which led to Nick being arrested?
I'm referring to the chief on this.
I am Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton, Chief of Detectives. We don't have any specific information we're going to release at this time regarding the family's information they provided. And as we move forward, that information will be discussed in the appropriate venue, which will be the court.
Sorry, for the chief. Can you talk anything more about just not the condition that Nick was in when he was arrested? Was he at a residence? Was he walking around? Was he observed by people in the neighborhood? Like, where
was he when he was arrested?
So specifically, he was arrested in a public area, in the Exposition Park area near the University of Southern California campus. He was approached by the officers and he was arrested without incident. There were no indications that he was going to resist or anything like that. He didn't flee or anything like that. He was taken into custody without issue, and he was transported to our police headquarters facility.
Where were the victims found? Where were the victims found? Question back there. Yes.
Was there a murder weapon found?
He's been alleged, one of these special allegations is that the murder was committed with a deadly weapon or a knife. As to where and how the weapon was located or will be located, that will actually be evidence we'll present in court.
Where were the victims found? Where were the
They don't have the weapon yet? They don't have the deadly weapon?
Take a question over here.
They don't have the deadly weapon.
When you think the murders occurred, because now we know that there was an altercation on Saturday night at a party. Do we know that this happened Saturday night or maybe Sunday morning?
I'll defer to the chief.
Yes.
Did anybody else involved? Did he have help?
Sorry,
Maybe
we don't
some
have
help
that kind of specificity yet.
Maybe he
We're
wasn't
waiting
alone.
the coroner to be able to try and determine as best they can at this point time of death.
Chief, where were the victims found? Can you say where the victims were found?
Who called 911?
We'll take the question back there.
Yes. Can you tell us who called 911?
Chief, we can read the report from I can. Okay, so in terms of how the Los Angeles Police Department became aware, it was a request from the Los Angeles Fire Department who responded to the scene first. We responded to their request for assistance at the scene of the incident. Our initial West LA officers that responded determined that a crime had occurred, and they immediately notified our robbery homicide division. They responded, and they've taken over the investigation since that point.
Thank you, everybody.
Hoffman, do you have
one more?
You're hesitant to talk about sensitive evidence, but based on the evidence collected to support these charges, did that include an admission by the defendant to the alleged crime?
So any statements made by the defendant at any point in time would be the type of evidence we will be presenting in court.
One
last question. Right?
Sorry, I have a question.
Hold on one second. I just identified this gentleman.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at me.
We have an estimated time for completion of the autopsy.
Look at that. Rob Reiner just released Spinal Tap 2 over the summer. Oh, yeah, he just released Spinal Tap 2. Wow. Thank you, Chick Eastwater. Damn. His hotel room had tons of blood in it, and the shower too. Really? They showed they already been to his hotel room? Oh my God. Wow.
The information coming from the medical examiner to your office and to the detectives in the case.
We do not have the estimated time that it will take. We know that they're working on it expeditiously, but as to when they deliver it, we do not have that estimated time. I'll take that one last question.
Sorry. I was just wondering, I know these types of cases are especially difficult. How much do you take into account what the family wants when it comes to charges when you're dealing with a domestic situation like that? And does that factor into whether you will go after life of parole or possibly that kind of thing?
In these cases, like any of these cases, we will take the the thoughts and desires of the family into consideration in making our decision. Thank you all very much.
Is he being held in solitary? There have been reports that celebrities visited the crime scene. Does that taint the evidence?
All right, so Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman informing the public that they do plan to file charges against Nick Reiner, 2 counts of first-degree murder, and with special circumstances, including multiple murders against...
That's sad, man. A wild dog. It's true. It's sad. That's a sad comment, man. Life is cruel. His parents did not deserve that. That must have been so scary for his parents to have their child they spoiled turned on them like that. That's really true, man. They took care of that kid. They raised that kid to be normal and regular, and wow. And he just killed his parents like that. I like Rob Reiner. Oh man, it's really sad. So sad. Unbelievable, man. Yeah, he killed both parents, not just the father, the mother and the fucking father. Oh my God. How do you kill your own parents, mother? I've heard it's... Why would you kill your both parents? Or any of them? I can't understand it. I cannot understand it. What? He said there was an admission. So he admitted to killing his parents. There you go. He admitted to killing his parents. Wow. That's sad. That's sad. Yeah, sad situation, Polka Dot. At some point, you have to grow up and stop blaming your parents. At some point, you have to take personal responsibility and accountability. Yeah, at some point, exactly. When you become an adult.
And more than one person being killed and using a dangerous or deadly weapon. And he said that that weapon was a knife. These crimes carry either life in prison without parole or the death penalty.
Or the death penalty, these special circumstances. And they haven't decided that. He was very clear on that. And he just said they take into account what the family wants. So we're not going to know that for a little bit. And then they're going to have to file their intent if they plan to do that. Alan Jackson, we know, representing Nick Reiner. Now, I was interested in hearing that DA Hochman made very clear these are just charges at this point. So we are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you more here on Court TV Live.
I wonder if he killed him on his own. I wonder if he did it on his own, or did he have help killing the parents? Do you think he needed help killing the parents? Is he weak enough to be able to handle his parents, both parents? You think is he strong enough to kill both parents on his own?
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Michael Ayala here with Judge Ashley Wilcott. Just moments ago, the Los Angeles...
Chick Eastwater. I'll try to remember and look into that, Chick Eastwater. But Chick Eastwater, if you can find that for me and email it to me, thank you, I appreciate it. Try to find it and email it to me, Chick Eastwater, those interviews or that video.
District Attorney's Office announced that they will be charging Nick Reiner with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Now, they have not made a decision on whether they'll seek the death penalty.
Reiner was arrested yesterday morning on suspicion of his involvement in the stabbing deaths of his father, Hollywood director Rob Reiner, and his mother, Michelle Singer Reiner. The couple was found dead in their home on Sunday.
And yesterday, the LAPD released a statement saying that Reiner is, in fact, quote-unquote, responsible for his parents' death. He will be represented by defense attorney Alan Jackson. Yes, that Alan Jackson.
That's right, the same one. Karen Reed's attorney, right now still with us, trial attorney Gene Rossi.
Wait, hold on.
Saying that Reiner is, in fact, quote unquote, responsible for his parents' death. He will be represented by defense attorney Alan Jackson. Yes, that Alan Jackson.
That's right,
Alan
the
Jackson.
same one. Karen Reed's attorney, right now still with us, trial attorney Gene Rossi.
Oh, my God. Karen Reed's attorney. You're right. You're right. Karen Reed's attorney will be handling the case for his son. Oh, my God. Wow.
Of course, I think one of the things, I want to mention this.
Wow.
You and I were talking about some of the things the DA had said, and one of the things that stood out to me were, number one, that Nick Reiner is going through medical clearance, which is the norm. That happens to everybody arrested, according to the district attorney. Number two, that next step is guilty or not guilty, and that they will be filing charges later this afternoon for those 2 counts of first-degree murder. Explain this, if you would, Gene. How is he in jail without bond, and the charges are just now going to be filed this afternoon? Just talk to us about the process.
Well, if you are arrested without papers being filed, without an indictment, without a complaint, they have 48 hours to charge. And the murder occurred Saturday. He was taken into custody, I think, Sunday. So he could be held for 48 hours without bond, and as long as they filed charges within the 48 hours, we're fine. So it's now Tuesday.
All right, now I want to
Supreme Court case on that.
Oh, I'm sorry about that for cutting you off, Gene, but we got that. There was a Supreme Court case on it. The thing that I want to talk about is, we're always listening for clues, anything we can find. I picked up a little bit of a clue in something that the district attorney said. He said, family crimes are some of the most difficult. And then he said, because of the brutal nature of those crimes. When I heard that, it made me think that whatever they saw, whatever was going on inside that house, was very brutal.
Well, I go back to Charles Manson. It could be a situation where
he was in bed. The son killed the parents while they were in bed sleeping. Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
Where
they were in bed sleeping when he killed them. Wow.
Although that was very intentional, that the son just snapped. And there could be multiple stab wounds. I'm speculating. Could be multiple stab wounds. Also, there could be wounds that are on various parts of the bodies of his parents.
Rich, his parents were sleeping. He slit their throats when they were sleeping. Oh, my God. Damn, that's crazy. Wow. That's insane, man. That's sad. That's sad. Oh, man, wow. Unbelievable. Very sad. I'm sad. Very sad. Look at Rob Reiner. I like Rob Reiner. I always like Rob Reiner.
I have to tell you, they're setting this up for a trial because they're charging first-degree murder with special circumstances. And I can see Mr. Jackson already thinking in his mind that I have a chance to beat these 2 counts and get them, lowered to either second degree or manslaughter. I can see him thinking right now that I may have a defense here because of the drug abuse, the mental health challenges.
Exactly.
Even if he's cleared, even if he's cleared right now and allowed to be prosecuted, that doesn't mean at the time of the murder he didn't snap and have a possible quasi insanity defense or diminished capacity at the time of the murder. That's important.
Yeah, D.A. Hockman.
The time of the murder.
Yeah, and he refused to speak to that in the press conference. He was asked were there any issues, mental health issues in the past. He refused to speak to that particular issue.
He sure did. There's a lot that's going to unfold. He also said there will be a lot of discovery the defense is going to need to produce that they're going to have to get through.
Yeah, and there was this caveat. He said, look, if you don't get the information from us, be careful that you're not getting misinformation.
And I thought it was stronger. I felt like he was saying there's a good chance you are hearing bad information, misinformation, so don't pay attention to that.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's sad. Is there any new? Let me watch this. I want to watch this later. And what's this? I don't know. It's a 5-minute video. Does talk about does what's his name talk about this video? Let me see. Hold on a second. Does from Core TV, what's his name? Vinny Politan. Does he talk about this? Does anybody know if Vinny Politan talks about this on his channel? Or no? Where's Vinny Politan? Let me see. Where's Vinny? Closing arguments. Huh? Let me see. 8 days ago, huh? Where's Vinny? Yo, Vinny, where you at, bro? Where's this video? I can't find it.
The late afternoon calm at Brown University.
I found it. Let's go. Son held without bail after Rob and Michelle Freeney found murdered. Vinny Politan, baby. Let's go. I knew there was a video from Vinny. There's got to be a video Vinny posted. All right, let's watch this. Then we're going to bed after this, guys. It's already, oh my God, it's 2:10 a.m.? Holy shit. It's already 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God, I'm going to bed after this video.
Shattered with gunshots in the Barrison Holly Engineering Building as students preparing for finals dove for cover. Chaos spread through hallways and classrooms. Emergency alerts for answers and the killer. Tonight, we have all the latest. But first, Rob Reiner, the Emmy-winning actor who first captivated audiences as Meathead on All in the Family and later became one of Hollywood's defining directors with such hits as When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride, A Few Good Men, was found stabbed to death alongside his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, in their Brentwood, Los Angeles home on December 14th. The couple had been married since 1989 and raised 3 children, Jake, Nick, and Romy.
Wow, 3 children. What a beautiful, are they twins? Are they twins? Are those guys, are they brothers twins? They look alike. Wow.
Rob also adopted actress Tracy Reiner from his first marriage to Penny Marshall. Emergency responders discovered their bodies after daughter Romy found them. Both suffered fatal stab wounds in what authorities described as an apparent homicide. Within hours, 32-year-old Nick Reiner, who had spoken openly about his long struggle with drug addiction and periods of homelessness, was arrested and booked on murder charges, held on $4 million bond. The Los Angeles Police Department's Robbery Homicide Division continues its investigation, and the entertainment world has been left grieving and in shock.
Casebook, what do you mean? What, Nancy Rich? What do you mean? Who's Nancy? Nancy Grace. Oh. We'll do Nancy tomorrow, currently. I mean, Casebook, we'll do Nancy tomorrow.
And we are live from Los Angeles with the latest in the investigation.
Zanaya, we'll do it tomorrow, Zanaya. Thank you.
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And it was a busy and deadly weekend. And here we are on Monday night. Let's begin and let's talk about Rob Reiner. All in the Family. All in the Family was the #1 show in America for years. Back in the day when there were only a few channels. So, I mean, a large portion of the population, I mean, a really significant portion of the population every week would watch Archie Bunker and his family, including, of course, Michael Stivic, his son, played by Rob Reiner, his son-in-law, played by Rob Reiner, who he affectionately called Meathead. He played that liberal young professor who was always butting heads with the crotchety old Archie Bunker, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Like, we got to know that family and felt like, you know, they were part of our family. But Rob Reiner has his real family. You know, he went out to Hollywood went into directing after starring in this All in the Family show for years and became a legendary director. Extremely wealthy, extremely powerful, and got married.
I forgot he was in All in the Family. That's where I know him from. All in the Family. Oh my God.
Married and seemed to have a perfect family that was, as we're learning, anything but perfect. And it's interesting. You know, you see this picture that they're all posing for at events, and that's some of the few times that for many of the Hollywood folks, right? When you get to see their actual family. Unless they have a reality show, then you get to watch them, right? Rob obviously wasn't going to do that. So you look at the family and say, okay, yeah, I'm sure everything's got to be great for them. I mean, Rob Reiner's third generation of Reiners in Hollywood. This is a dynasty. They are Hollywood royalty. How could anything go wrong? Until it did. Double homicide.
Wow.
Rob Reiner and his
That's
wife.
Incredible.
Raised that family.
Wow. That is sad.
Murdered inside their own mansion.
That's sad. That is sad.
Their throats slit.
Their throat was slit.
And you think, well, how did it happen? What was it? You know, the first time
their
you heard
throat
it,
was slit. No gun.
Maybe like to get inside that home, to have access to be able to do that, it's got to be either someone they know or some sort of very violent home invasion.
Wow.
And what we've learned is that it was basically all in the family, unfortunately. A suspect has been arrested, a member of his family, and we're learning a little bit more about him. Here's from the LAPD. Here's what they're telling us. As a result of the initial investigation, it was determined that the Reiners were victims of homicide.
Unbelievable.
The investigation further revealed that Nick Reiner, the 32-year-old son of Robert and Michelle Reiner, was responsible for their deaths. Nick Reiner was located and arrested at approximately 9:15 p.m. He was booked for murder and remains in custody with no bail under book number. On Tuesday, December 16th, the case will be presented to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office for filing consideration.
Well, that was yesterday. That
His
was
own
today.
son.
That was
His
today.
son, who has a bit of a history. And we're learning a lot more about that history. The history that was memorialized in a movie that father and son did together about his son's struggles with drugs and drug addiction and everything that comes along with it. So let's take you out to Los Angeles. Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas joining us live from the Brentwood neighborhood in Los Angeles tonight. Cody, what's going on there tonight? How would you describe the scene, the neighborhood, the vibe, etc.?
Yeah, Vinny, a huge media presence out here all day. I mean, you just saw the cars coming through here behind me, but it's been pretty quiet as far as the neighbors. You know, only a few walking throughout the day, but you can see here behind me, you know, we have a security guard out front of Reiner's home. It is now a crime scene. What is usually known as a swanky, nice neighborhood out here in Los Angeles has now become this scene of a homicide, a double homicide at that. And, you know, we're about a mile away from Rockingham, where Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were found dead back in 1994, just to give our viewers an idea of exactly where we are. Now, Vinny, of course, we're talking about Rob Reiner, Hollywood royalty, as you just said. We're talking about When Harry Met Sally. We're talking about A Few Good Men. We're talking about The Princess Bride. All of these movies that we all grew up on, all these movies that the world fell in love with. Now, Benny, just recapping a little bit of the investigation, you know, police were called out here Sunday afternoon after 2 deceased bodies were found in this home here behind me, behind all these big gates. You see it's private property. You can't really see the home much at all outside of all this, the bushes and everything here. But they were called out here for 2 deceased people found inside, of course, later identified as Rob and his wife, Michelle, and now 32-year-old Nick, their own son, is sitting behind bars without bond, by the way. LAPD confirmed that. We heard circulating rumors that there was $4 million bond, but he's sitting behind bars in jail, charged with their murders without bond, so he won't be getting out anytime soon that we know of. Now, talking about Nick Reiner.
I gotta give him no bond,
He's
though.
been
Why
very
no bond?
vocal about his struggles with addiction, with homelessness, beginning
proof he
in
did
his
it. There's
early
no proof he did
teen
it.
years. Even
Unless
so
he
much
admitted
so
to
that
it.
he went on to co-write a movie called
He
Being
admit to
Charlie
killing
with his
him?
father, Rob Reiner, back in 2016. That was...
Does anybody know if the son admitted to killing the parents?
loosely based off of his life and the struggles that he experienced in those early years of his life. But now, again, according to LAPD, Nick Reiner is sitting behind bars without bond. And we also learned today, don't know if they're still there, but at some point today, inside was legal counsel, only legal counsel. The rest of the family, the rest of the children were mourning nearby at Cedars-Sinai Hospital. And reports also came out while we're out here today that Nick Reiner was seen at a house party at Conan O'Brien's Los Angeles house party, no less, on Saturday night with Rob, his father, and his mom, Michelle, seen getting into an argument with Rob. So, of course, that will come into evidence at some point as they present these charges to the DA's office. And on that topic, LAPD says they plan to submit those charges to the LA County DA's office as early as tomorrow. And Vinny, you know, of course, the world is speaking out. The world is mourning, not only the people here in the neighborhood, not only people in Hollywood, but even the Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass, called the deaths a devastating loss to the city, saying, quote, Rob Reiner's contributions reverberate throughout American culture and society, and he has improved countless lives through his creative work and advocacy, fighting for social and economic justice. Vinny, just a tragedy all around, not only here in Los Angeles, but, of course, around the globe.
So a couple things. To me, that Saturday night party at Conan O'Brien's becomes a crucial part of this case. Absolutely crucial part. If there's some sort of a altercation there. I've also heard reports that he was acting kind of strange at the party. It was more of a formal affair. He's walking around in a hoodie. We don't know what the argument was about, but anyone who was at that party now becomes a witness to all this. Does
anybody think that since he had Karen Reed's attorney, will this help him getting off? Or getting off on a lesser charge other than straight murder?
The bodies are discovered a little more than 24 hours ago. Are they still there at the crime scene? Have you seen law enforcement going in and out? Have you seen forensic teams going in and out? Or do we feel like that may be wrapped up already?
Vinny, surprisingly enough, that seems as if it has been wrapped up already. There's been no crime scene tape out here. Now, the block is blocked off, you know, for all the media access and everything going on. There's been security patrols, not LAPD, not actual police officers, but security around the house, making sure that people don't, you know, jump the fence or do anything crazy out here. But they've been patrolling the block. We have security out front of the gate in front of the house. There's a side gate that security's been out there in front of all day, making sure people are, you know, regulated, keeping cars from coming down this street. But Vinny, no crime scene, no law enforcement, no CSI, no crime scene tape. None of that is out here. Hasn't been out here all day. Not as we speak. I've been out here for hours. There any of that whatsoever.
They wrapped it up pretty quickly. I mean, sometimes
wrap it up.
I guess you could do it quickly. You have a big enough crew. You get the pictures. You do what you have to do. But it's a double murder at this point. Investigation. Let's talk about. They've arrested the son, obviously, to get into this home. I'm looking at that gate behind you. My guess is there are cameras there. My guess is that you'd have to have some sort of a control to get past that gate because this will be a trial. So, I mean, all these little things that, you know, we kind of take for granted become much bigger inside of a courtroom. What's your assessment of the general sense of security there to rule out an outside intruder, number one, and number two, to provide video evidence, putting them together potentially at the time of the double murder?
Yeah, Vinny, any sort of security protocols you can think of are out here on this street, let alone on this house. I mean, you see this gate behind me. This gate's at least probably 10 to 12 feet tall, depending on what part of it you're looking at. Even at the lowest part, it's at least 8 feet tall with one of those control call boxes that you have to, you know, you have to click it to go in. It's not anybody can just go in. It's not open. It's closed right now. And you see these tall trees here behind me as well. These are easily, you know, 20 feet tall, and you can't even see to my left over here, but you can't get.
But isn't Jimmy James? Isn't Can't reach trial. The dude, a criminal attorney, right? Isn't he? I thought he was a criminal attorney. So that's why, in my opinion, that's why he got it. That's what he's gonna help. His experience.
You can't see any part of the house whatsoever. Now, of course, we have other houses across this entire street in this entire neighborhood, and you see cameras all around. You know, of course, I mean, these swanky neighborhoods, there's likely Ring cameras on these houses out here. So, you know, the likelihood of an outside intruder coming in here seems unlikely from my assessment. Even walking around the block on the side of the house, there's another tall 10-foot gate that security has been out in front of all day as well. So not an easily accessible house. You can't even see the house from the road at all. You can't see anything as far as the actual residents outside of these gates and outside of this tall shrubbery here behind me.
Yeah, the only way to see that house is how we were looking at it. You have to have a drone or a helicopter to really get an idea for it. All right, Cody Thomas out in L.A., thank you so much. Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us tonight, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Al Wunsch III, along with criminal defense attorney Darnell Crossland and family law attorney Jennifer Brandt. Okay, let's make our initial assessments of how this plays out. Does this become a whodunit or a why did he do it kind of case? Al.
Well, then it's very hard for me on this one because, you know, I had met, in September, I was with Mr. Reiner on his new book tour that was out. And I knew his father very well from the Friars Club, doing roasts with the father. And so it hit hard. It really does hit hard. And it's not going to be a whodunit. It's going to be why is it done? To have his son do this to his mother and to his dad like this is it's just a horrific situation. And it's very distressing. And it hurts. I mean, we've lost a great, great American. We've lost a great, great director. We've lost a great, great actor. I mean, you hear stories about him, even as a youngster in All in the Family. Because I mean, he was very young. He's like 20 in that age, and he worked so hard as a script doctor, and was able to work on scripts that Norman Lear is working on, who's a remarkable, remarkable producer and creator, and they took him seriously. And then he went to, as you said, went to Hollywood, but he's always kind of been in Hollywood. I mean, he's born and raised in the Bronx, moved up to New Rochelle, and he was inundated into the whole family of great actors because of his dad, who Carl Reiner was just a legend. So we've lost a truly remarkable individual, and I'm curious as to why this happened. I know that there had always been some issues with him and his son, but it's a very tough one for me.
Darnell, I was looking at some of those photos of the family, and they're all lined up taking one of those shots. This one, if we could freeze that for a second, one of these just doesn't look like the others. Like there's something, to me, that's what this case is going to be about.
Right,
you look at the family looks like a wonderful family, except one of them doesn't look like the rest of the others.
I know, what happened to that guy?
Yeah, so that happens often.
What happened to him? Drugs. I'm telling you, man, the drugs changed him a lot. Look at that. Look how different he looks. Oh my God. That's a huge difference. The way he looks. He looks all drugged up.
Times when you are well aware that your family member, in this case, your son, is struggling with either drug, even this photo that's up now, he looks spaced out. So a father is going to do everything possible to make his son normal, to try to help his son, to try to integrate his son into a normal space, even when he can be a ticking time bomb. And in this case, he exploded, and he took the very life of the people who love them and try to protect them. The father, the mother, I'm sure they would want the world to see him as normal. And no matter how bad the struggles are, they're not going to tell us about it. But there was evidence of this, as you can see in these photos, and what we hear about the drug addiction, et cetera. So,
does anybody know his home address? Anybody have his home address? I want to Google map it.
This is certainly not going to be a whodunit. It's going to be a why, but we kind of know the why, but we just got to kind of see, was it mental health? Was it drug addiction?
Do we know the why, though? Because, Jennifer, you know, this could go many directions. It could be drugs. It could be mental illness. I don't know. It could be a Menendez brothers deal. Who knows what they're going to say in the courtroom? I've seen defense attorneys say anything. I've seen accused killers say anything. So what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a history here of drug use, of homelessness on the part of this gentleman. There's been a history of mental health struggles. I mean, Rob Reiner was really trying to help his son do everything he can, but we really don't know the crux of the argument. People at the party said he was acting strangely, walking around, talking to people, and he's apparently exploded before. He apparently wrecked the guest house where he was living and had talked about it in the past. So he was an explosive person. You can see that Rob Reiner was really trying to help him, but had commented, I think, in recent times, saying that his son's mental health condition was really deteriorating and didn't know what to do about him. I mean, Rob Reiner and his wife did not want to call the police, did not want to do anything that would harm their son. They were trying to help him. But we don't know what happened and what was the reason for this argument. It's just really tragic all around, for us, in the public, and most of all for the family. The young daughter, she found her parents, has to turn in her brother. I mean, it's just a horrible situation for everyone involved.
Yeah, the siblings have to go on. All right, Think Tank staying with us. When we come back, we're going to talk more about Rob Reiner. Perez Hilton's going to join us. Plus, coming up next hour.
Right.
Tonight on Bay Politics investigates a family hike in Utah's mountains, 3 small children, a sudden snowstorm, and a father who refused to turn back. When rescuers finally arrived, shock and horror replaced hope, and now one man faces the harshest accusations a parent can hear. How did a simple outing become a child torture investigation, and will justice follow? Tonight, we investigate.
I can't find his address.
Coming soon to Court TV.
The Microsoft executive gunned down. Now his ex and her new husband are charged with killing him.
Oh, shit.
High-stakes trials you don't want to miss. Coming soon. Only on Court TV.
I'm looking for his address.
Rob Reiner crafted the comedies that defined several generations. The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, This Is Spinal Tap, even co-founding the production company that would launch Seinfeld. Reiner and his wife of more than 30 years, Michelle Singer, were found stabbed inside their Brentwood home just outside of Los Angeles Sunday. The call for help came mid-afternoon, around 3:30. The grisly details of extensive stab wounds emerged quickly, and one of their sons, Nick, is now facing charges.
We're going to try and speak to every family member that we can to get to the facts of this investigation.
Reiner was born in New York in March 1947. His father, Carl, was a comedy legend, laying a path that Rob would follow. He worked in front of and behind the camera, cast his meathead in All in the Family at the age of 23, then soaring to success in the 1980s with a string of comedy hits.
For me, the one that means the most is Stand By Me, because it was the first time I made a movie that I felt reflected my personality, my sensibility.
Reiner was also active in Democratic politics, hosting impactful fundraisers and campaigning on liberal issues like same-sex marriage.
If you know you can do something and you have the capacity to, make a change or help out or whatever, I feel you do it.
Rob Reiner was 78 years old. His wife, Michelle, was 68.
78.
Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News Group.
We're talking about the death of Rob Reiner, and it looks like the murder of Rob Reiner and his wife. And the suspect in the case who's been arrested is 32-year-old son, Nick. Now, back in 2016, Rob Reiner and his son, Nick, did an interview with the AOL Build series where they discussed the film Being Charlie. The film was released in 2015 and was loosely based on Nick Reiner's battle with addiction and the family dynamics surrounding recovery. Here's a piece of that interview.
And I wasn't really that shy about including some of the bad stuff I did, because a lot of people do things that are pretty unsavory when they're going through that. But in terms of making it a narrative, of course, it's not my life, but it needs to be constructed into a story.
The fact that we were dealing with, things that Nick had gone through.
Mamo reacts. The address is right by Nicole Simpson, isn't it? I don't know. Where's Nicole Simpson? Does anybody know the address for Rob Reiner? I'm trying to Google it. I can't find it.
And how I had related to it and how his mother had related to it, it forced me to have to see more clearly and understand more deeply what Nick had gone through.
You put it in Google Maps, it'll come up.
He's a dad, right? He's a super celebrity, etc. But at the end of the day, he's a father, and he was trying to help his son, who was obviously troubled. But now things have gotten to where they are. Let's bring in a special guest celebrity journalist. Perez Hilton is with us. Perez, great to see you. How much of this was known before the last 24 hours about Rob Reiner and his son Nick and the family dynamics?
I mean, Rob openly spoke about the difficult relationship that he had with his son and regret.
Where? 222. Oh, there you are. 255 South Chadbourne Avenue. Yo. Chloe, you're the best.
That he had. In fact, during promo for that movie that his son wrote the screenplay for and that he directed, he expressed regret over listening to experts, which I wonder if he were around today, if he thinks differently of that. Specifically, Nick Reiner, by the time he was 19, had already spent multiple stays in rehab, and that pattern continued throughout the years. He struggled with addiction so much that there were periods of his life that he was homeless because his parents gave him tough love. Nick did not like that his parents were not coddling him. They were supporting him, but they were demanding repeatedly that he go to rehab and that they trust the experts there. So this dynamic of their son being an addict and struggle with his father is something that they both talked about publicly before. And obviously the family knows a lot more than the public does. And one of Rob Reiner's children spoke today, actually. Tracy Reiner gave an interview to NBC. She is the child that Rob adopted from his first marriage with actress Penny Marshall. And Tracy Reiner said that prior to this now infamous party at Conan O'Brien's house, where Rob and Michelle and their son Nick were at, and they got into a fight, that the family was all together at a family gathering. So Saturday was a day for the Reiners to be together. And as of now, we, the public, can only presume what happened at that family gathering. And, we've heard some accounts of what happened at the Conan O'Brien party. But I just keep going back, especially to Rob's 28-year-old daughter and Michelle's 28-year-old daughter, Romy, who was the one who discovered her parents in this horrific state. She's the one who called police. And on that 911 call, she told authorities that her brother, who's 32, had been staying at home and was violent. That is, according to reports, what Romy told the 911 dispatcher, that her brother was violent, and he actually went missing. That call was placed around 3:30 p.m. Sunday, and Nick Reiner was not found until approximately 9:15 in the evening. We still don't know where he was during those hours. But I send so much healing to the Reiners.
Oh, absolutely. But that speaks volumes. If the daughter comes in, Romy comes in, and she sees what happened to her parents, and immediately she knows who's responsible. She knows the history. Well, go ahead.
Especially because we've learned that Nick publicly even spoke about his violent tendencies in the past, as was mentioned on the show a little bit ago, in a podcast interview a few years ago, Nick Reiner talked about how his parents had sequestered him in the guest house and how he was in a drug-fueled rage and just started punching things and destroying the television and the lamp. But the way that Rob Reiner's son was recounting this story, he literally laughed. It was as if he was boasting about this experience that if that were me, I would have expressed remorse. I would have expressed, shock that I did that in a drug-fueled state. But no, he seemed proud of what he had done. And I can only imagine all of the other things that he did privately that the public doesn't know about yet.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to learn a lot more because this is a double homicide, double murder case, and the defense is going to have a defense, and they're going to try to dive into all this, and prosecutors have to prove what happened here. One final question, Perez. Is there any information out specifically about what the argument was and who may have witnessed this argument at Conan's party?
I mean, right now, we don't know exactly what the dust up was over. We have heard that Nick Reiner was going around acting erratically, asking people at Conan O'Brien's party, "Are you famous? Are you famous?" So one can only speculate, was he in a state of drug-induced psychosis, or was he just high, or was he unwell? We don't know. And my guess as a parent is Rob was probably just telling his son, "You should leave. You're not well. You're embarrassing me." Maybe they blew up because of, you're embarrassing me. A son doesn't want to hear that, if that's what happened. But I'm sure that some people at that party will now be talking to authorities just as they gather more information. And to your point, I actually hope that there is no defense. Given how this atrocity was committed and the violent manner in which Rob and Michelle, according to reports, died with their throats slit, I'm sure there will be a lot of DNA evidence.
Oh, yeah.
And my guess is he might just plead guilty without a trial,
We'll see. There's always some angle that the defense is going to have, whether it's he didn't do it or he did it because, and there's a mitigating factor. We shall see. Perez Hilton, always great to speak with you. Great information, and have a great holiday season.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Still with us, our think tank, Al Wunsch III, Darnell Crossland, Jennifer Brandt. Okay, Darnell, so, it seems a lot's going to come into play when it comes to this party at Conan O'Brien's, right? That if he's staying at the house, the sister immediately knows it's him. There's a history of violence here. To me, that's what this is going to be all about. Like, why is he acting up this way? And could mental illness be a mitigating factor? What's the discussion about?
Yeah, it's a hard one, but we know that even Stevie Wonder would be able to see that Conan O'Brien is famous, and everybody, all the Muckley Mucks were famous. And so if he's walking around in a hoodie at a formal event asking famous people, "Are you famous?" He's unhinged at that point. And I'm sure his father probably grabbed a hold of him and probably said, "Stop it," or "Get out of here." And at that point, he's feeling like, "All right, you want me to get out of here? I'll take care of you." So the prosecutors are definitely going to start from that point, because they always look to see, was there some kind of friction? Was there some kind of motive? Was there something that sparked this? And they're going to start at that party. And he has a history of this. His sister called and said that he was violent. And so everything that you see here, it shows that his violent tendencies were articulated at that moment. So I think that the defense is going to have to argue probably mental insanity, etc. They can't say, like we just saw in this other case, they were dead and I decided to dispose of the body because I was afraid. I mean, they're getting dumber and dumber with these defenses, but we leave the dumbness to Al. Al, you got any bright ideas?
Yeah, throw you off the show.
Oh!
That works for me. This is a horrendous situation.
Wow.
And once again, as I said, we've lost a great American.
Wow.
Rob Reiner was just a legend. And I mean, there's not a lawyer out there that has not seen A Few Good Men and has not absolutely just soaked up every moment of that movie and watched it time and time again because it was so well done. It was so, for a man who was not an attorney, okay, with Rob, putting that together was just a phenomenal movie. And as I said, it's something that we all as attorneys watch every time it's on and know every line in that movie and have done those lines dozens and hundreds of times. So, you know, we lost a great American. We lost a great actor. We lost a great director, a great producer, and we lost a family man. And, you know, we have to all think about that, you know, this family has been decimated by not just the slaughter of one, but both parents. And it's so at this
Both
time
parents
of the season,
and discovered by the daughter. I want to show you some video from Fox News show. Billy Crystal outside the Reiners' home following the discovery of their deaths. Here he is. He's got his hand on his face. You can see as he's approaching the house and walking down the street. Incredibly sad scene. We haven't seen something like this in Hollywood in some time. But at the end of the day, Jennifer Brandt, this comes down to some family dynamics. You heard Perez talking about.
Guys, who is that walking down the street? Who did you say that was? Who is that walking down the street, Cakes Boo?
About the tough love that they attempted. He wanted to be coddled. And at the end of the day, he's 32 and he's back living at home. And that's part of the struggle that takes place. You know, parents, you want to do anything and everything you can.
3 o'clock in the morning?
Of course, every parent would do the same to try to protect their child, and especially a man like Rob Reiner who has the means to do so, to get him into the best rehab, to get any specialist necessary to try to help this person, his son. But apparently his son didn't want the help, didn't want to go back to rehab, didn't want, you know, he had tried many times. But as to insanity, I'm not so sure. The sister knew that he was violent. He had done violent things before, and clearly he was upset with his dad and his mom and acted out. I guess we'll learn the story soon enough.
What's that?
Absolutely. Think Tank staying with us when we come back. We're going to take a look at the other big story from over the weekend. They're still looking for this suspect. We have new video of the suspect in the Brown shooting, Brown University shooting. That's next.
I thought they already found the suspect in the shooting. I thought they already found a suspect in that shooting. But anyway, guys, here's the map. I found the house on Google Maps. Here, look. I found it. Well, I didn't find it. Who found it? Chloe found it, I think. Right, Chloe? Thank you. So this is the house. This is the house right here, guys. Look. That's the house right here. The beautiful, huge house. Look at that. It's huge. That's a big-ass house, man. That's a nice pool. Damn. It's a big house. I wonder who's gonna take over this house in the family. Wow. Let's go to Street View. Let me go to Street View. Womp, 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 womp. There's the Street View of the house. Look at that, I like that. That little mailbox. Look at the mailbox. Fancy mailbox. 255. That's it right there. 255. And that's how you get in. That's the entrance right here. Oh, you can see the pool right here. That's the pool right there. Wow. Interesting. Let me see what's over here. Let's go up the block. Wait, I think I fucked up. Oh, yeah, that's the side. But I think that's the other house. I don't think that's her house. Is that the house? Let me see. Is that a different house? It's the neighbor's house. Oh, come on. Let's see. Well, that's the neighbor's house. But that's the neighbor's house. It ends here. You go back over here. There's not much to see other than what we have right here. That's the only view of the house right here. Can't see much. You look up, that's all you can't really get in front. That's That's all you got. That's all we got. Look at it. But look how big these trees are in front of the house. Guy, look. That's a big ass wall bush. That's a wall bush. Look at that thing. That's the kind of wall I would want probably. That's beautiful, man. A big bush as a wall. That's insane, man. Oh, look, you got a little door here. I didn't even see that. Look, a little hidden door. Wow. That's fancy, man. That's a lot of money right there. Fucking Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner. Taking care of his house. There's different dates. We have different dates of the house here. Look, we can look in September. This is September 2025 now. The picture we're looking at now is September. September 2025. And we got December. That's December 2023. That's December 2023. Oh, shit. December 2023. July of 2022. March of 2019. Look how it changes. The gate is open. December 2017. March of 2015. September 2014. And July of 2011. And then we have August 2007. Wow. That's the oldest we can go. You can see, look how old these cars are outside. Those are some old-ass cars outside. Wow. I'll go back to the current, that's the current view. 2025, September. Let's see. Cakes Boo. You guys got me nervous. My fingerprints, my fingers. I keep pressing the scan. I keep pressing the button on the scan thing. But Case Boo, thank you very much for your 28 months membership here. Damn, Case Boo, 28 months you've been here. That's a long time, Case Boo. Wow. 28 months we've known each other. Wow. That's amazing, Case Boo. Thank you very much for your support. I love it. You know, you're the best, Case Boo. You're one of the best. I can't say you're the best because other people get mad then. Where is Can't Touch This? I gotta find Can't Touch This. Where's my Can't Touch This? Oh my God. Let me see. Here you go.
You can't touch this.
Woo!
You can't touch this. You
Can't touch this. Oh. Can't touch this.
My music hits so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you. But bless.
Cakes Boo. Yeah, baby. You already know. Run that shit. Touch it, Cakes Boo. Touch it, Cakes Boo. Yeah, Cakes Boo. Touch it. Touch it real good. Bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Anyway, that's all I can show you tonight, guys. I gotta go to bed. I gotta work in the morning. I gotta go to work. It's 3 o'clock in the morning right now. I gotta wake up in 5 hours. Like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4.5 hours. I gotta wake up. Oh my God. I gotta go to bed. I'm sorry. I'm gonna come back tomorrow, guys. I'll try to come back earlier tomorrow, 11 p.m. I'm gonna try my best to come back at 11 p.m. tomorrow. Fuck. Can't touch this. Woo! Locked up. I feel locked up. You can't let me out. I'm locked up. You can't let me out. All right, guys. Thank you for. I don't want to leave. I really don't want to leave, but I got to go to work in the morning. I'm sorry. I got 40 people watching. 40 people watching. Hi, 40 people watching. Smash that like button. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, 1:53 a.m. What about Ray? What about 1:53 a.m.? It's only 11:53. Yeah, I'm in New York City, Chloe. Where are you at? California? One Jury Matters. What's up? Happy Hanukkah, One Jury Matters. What do you know? What that shit? Let's go. Happy Hanukkah, baby. Happy Hanukkah. Is there a song for Happy Hanukkah? Let me see. I'm looking for a song for Happy Hanukkah. Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. Is there a song for Happy Hanukkah? There's no song for Happy Hanukkah. There's nothing for Happy Hanukkah. Wow. That's all I get. The Discord notification. Hanukkah. It's a UK. Let me see. Hanukkah. Come on, give me something for Hanukkah. Can I get a small? I can't get nothing for Hanukkah. Hanukkah sound effect. Let me see. Hanukkah sound effect. Oh my god. Here you go. Hanukkah sound effect. Let's go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechadlik ner
Let's go.
shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavoteinu bayamim hahem ba'azman hazeh. Baruch.
Can you guys hear it? Did you hear it? A for effort. Did you hear the song? Hello? Why you guys take so long to respond? You heard it? All right. Congratulations. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. I'm going to bed. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow night. Be good, guys. Cake Spook, good night. I'm sorry, I gotta leave. I don't want to leave, but I gotta leave. I'm sorry. I wish I didn't have to leave, man. It sucks. Happy Hanukkah, One Jury Matters, Chloe, Ray, Sean B, good night. Doc Bones, Jennifer Gilly. Who else is here? Newman, thanks for hanging out. Danny. Who else? Doc Bones, Chloe. Who else? Polka Got Susan. Who else? Is that it? Wild Dog, good night. Thanks for being here, guys. I'm sorry it's late. 3 o'clock in the morning. I gotta go. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry. La 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 la. Bye.
Was a major clue.
So Brian.
Let me have you, Brian!
What did you do? You're living every night, aren't you, boy? Turn yourself in, Brian. Once in your life, be a man.
You like him going? Whoa!
She was just watching. Remember, she wasn't doing that. I was just saying she was talking. Got it. But she was mainly watching pop.
She was young. She was beautiful. She was chasing her dreams. She was excited. She was hopeful. She was in love. She wanted a partner. She wanted support. She wanted to be cherished. She trusted him. She was anxious. She was overwhelmed. She was chasing her, took responsibility. She was scared. She was manipulated. She was abused. She didn't deserve this ending. She didn't deserve the abuse. I will say her name. I will share her story. I will spread awareness. And I will use my voice because hers was silenced. Her life was stolen, but her legacy will live.
Yelling at the sky, screaming at the world. Baby, why'd you go away? I'm still your girl. Holding on too tight, head up in the clouds. Heaven only knows where you are now. How do I love again? How do I trust again? I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most. I put the record on, wait till I hear our song. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Never got the chance to say your last goodbye. I gotta move on, but it hurts to try. How do I love again? How do I trust again? I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most. I put the record on, wait till I hear our song. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. How do I love again? How do I trust again? I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most. I put the record on, wait till I hear our song. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost.
Her blonde hair fell around her like a
She was an upstate New York angel without wings. Her smile shone brighter than a morning sunrise. Her laughter put the songbird's voice to shame. When you see a butterfly over a weeping willow tree, over a rainbow or a wildflower on a grassy mountain peak, she's home with Mother Nature, yes she is. In the heaven on this earth, that's where she lives.